Eric, Delilah mentioned Blackstone, and can you talk a little bit about what's happening here on Maui and what you guys have experienced and what some of the challenges are, particularly with the leveraged buyout model and how it operates here in the hotel industry and elsewhere? Discuss.
I'll take that question and deliver it my own way. The first thing to understand about private equity is it's not private equity. This is public money. The reason they say it's private is because it's not traded publicly on the public markets. What it is a group of people that go around and basically put investment proposals before various large, mostly public funds, big pension funds like CalPERS and CalSTRS and so on, New York Municipal Bond Fund, blah, blah, blah. College endowments, Yale and Harvard, each have more money individually than 90% of the countries on the world. What they do is they get timed investments to buy certain tranches of investments. We deal with them mostly on the real estate side. Blackstone and other private equity companies now own Hawaii Tourism. The last local owner, which was the Kelly family of Outrigger, was bought out by KSL several years ago. And so we deal with them all the time, and we deal with them based on their interest. They basically put money together, go buy a bunch of stuff. They have a timed investment, 5-7 years framework, and then at that time they have to sell and return the money to the investors. Big pension funds like CalSTRS and CalPERS and these guys basically have to go this way because they are dealing with hundreds of billions of dollars invested, and if you try to put that money into the public markets, the stock prices drop, and basically they're unable to achieve investment goals through the public markets. So it's only the big players that play this. And I'm talking about investment funds that are owned by governments, including ours. I can tell you how our union defeated Blackstone in 2011. And it was by action of workers and attacking them at their, I shouldn't use military terms, dealing with them at their point of pressure. The point of pressure is when they're asking people for money, which they do all the time. And they'll have, I believe Blackstone had real estate B or something. They put together $26 billion to buy the Hilton Corporation. And immediately upon buying the Hilton Corporation, they embarked on their rehab plan, which mostly amounted to eliminating jobs and combining jobs, and thereby making the enterprises they buy more efficient and more productive, and then they turn it around and sell it, and the next one buys it and does the same thing. So what we're on is this roller coaster ride of recurring buys and sells. And so the way that you can get influence over a Blackstone or an Apollo or a KKR or a KSL or the many others, Oaktree we've dealt with, they're all the same in that one sense, is they got to go ask for money. And they got to ask for money from public entities that are using public monies. The Employees Retirement System in Hawaii has, what, $13–14 billion? And I can tell you right now, the trustees of our fund don't care a damn about socially responsible investment. And they tell us that because we go and ask them, why are you investing in Coldwell Banker when they're using your investment to take money away from workers? Well, we have a fiduciary duty, and therefore we're going to invest at the highest profit level. So unless you're going to address that, unless you're going to be able to get trustees of large public pension funds to basically say, no, we're not going to give you the money unless you promise not to do this, this, and this, and this, you have no control. Because once they have the money, they got it. You got to get them at the point of purchase. And if we want to do something useful, we should at least start with our own pension fund here. Because I can tell you that policy has changed in the last few years. When they got rid of VJoy and brought in these other guys, now they're not even interested in talking about any social responsibility. That's our money, your money, taxpayers' money that is dedicated by us for the retirement benefits of the people that work for us. So if we want to have power on private equity, we first have to have power on our government's policy in administering its investments. And that's the short version. I can tell you how we did it. When Hilton was fighting us in 2010 and 2011, we struck them in 3 cities at once, we struck them in this and that, running up and down and all that. What brought the deal to a close was when the California teachers, and we have friends among the California teachers, and they called their pension fund, the CalSTRS fund, and said, what are you doing with our retirement money in this Hilton purchase? And that induced the CalSTRS board to call a meeting with Schwartzman and say, we want to hear from you at a public meeting in California in April of 2011. Well, they settled in March. He did not want to go to that meeting where 1,000 teachers and 1,000 hotel workers could have gone and asked him the same question. He refused to go to the meeting. They settled a year-long fight. So the point of vulnerability is where they get their money, and they're getting it from us. And if we want to control what we invest in, then we have to control our government. Now, my friend Marcus was talking about a law that would try to regulate private investment. Well, the biggest investment pool of capital is our own money, not some private money in Hawaii. It's $13 billion. If we can't control that, why are we trying to regulate somebody else? So we need to get clear with our politicians and the people they appoint to these boards about what kind of policy we should have in investing our money.
Thank you.